All right. Before we get things started, put a triple one in the chat if everything is good in terms of audio, ladies and gentlemen. Put a 111 in the chat if the audio sounds good right about now. All right, let me know. All right, let's see. We got Portcell. Thank you for the happy... First of all, thank you guys so much for the happy birthday wishes in the chat. That means a lot. Thank you guys so much. Steven, Cobalt Fox Plays, Adam Bootler, Blue Anderson, Dorothy, Spaceboy CT, Zeppeli, I think, Sonic the Hedgehog Boom. Whoa, we got a celebrity in the chat. Goddamn. Okay. Nancy, Polly. All right. Oh, and Virginia Lake is in the chat. How you doing? I'm glad to see you over here. All right. And Emo Inuyasha is in the chat. Audio sounds good. All right, let's get things started. All right, let's get me and myself in the chat, in the camera. You guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, everybody, what is going on? Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. This was kind of a somewhat of a last minute thing. I don't think I was fully planning, or it wasn't fully confirmed that I was going to be doing a stream right now. But I said, you know what? Why not? I got nothing to do today. And I did a birthday stream like 2 years ago. So it's like, why not celebrate with you guys? So yeah, today, June 10th, is my birthday. I am 27 years old. I am 3 years away from being 30 years old. Like that just boggles my mind, honestly. Like, it's literally freaking insane. But yeah, welcome everybody to the stream. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this birthday celebration. We're not really doing anything special, I guess, because I'm not creative enough. so like, if anything, for the most part, we're really gonna be doing I guess, you know, kind of like what we usually do in these streams. It's usually kind of just chat and talk with you guys and, you know, just hang out for a little bit. I don't know exactly how long I'm gonna be on the stream for. Maybe, I'd say maybe an hour or an hour and a half, or maybe close to 2 hours. I don't know. It really depends, honestly. But yeah, so again, thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Let me go ahead, and I said hi to some of you guys in here. Let me see if there is anyone that I missed. Andre, happy 27th birthday. Thank you so much. Mark is in the chat. Yeah, I think about everybody here is oh, Mr. Bean. I don't think I've said hi to you. So, Mr. Bean fan, hello, welcome. We got almost 30 people in the chat. That is freaking dope. Polly, no, oh, Polly, you just turned 27 years old. Nice. So I've joined the club. How did Polly, if you're still in the chat, how does it feel that you're about to be 30 in 3 years? like did the realization hit you as much as it's hitting me right now? Like, did it hit you like, oh crap, I'm gonna be 30 in 3? Like, did it? I want to know. I want to know if it's just me or if it's everyone else. Naughty Orchard 12, I don't think I said hi to you. Hello, you said, hey Josh, happy birthday, man. You and Velisky Bum are my favorite YouTubers to ever discuss animation. Well, I'm glad that I'm amongst your favorites. That's pretty freaking awesome. So thank you so much for that. Glad that you're subscribed. GDTA, I'm not even gonna try to say all that. Says hi, hello, welcome. Let's see. I always try to. Polly says crazy feeling. Yep, crazy feeling, 100%. I mean, I didn't feel this way when I turned 25, nor did I feel this way when I turned 26. But now turning 27, it's like, oh Christ, I'm almost 30 years old, and this year in particular has been very interesting for me for obvious reasons, reasons that I'm sure most of you guys know about. which is also why this birthday this year is it's a particularly an interesting one, you know, because a certain somebody that used to be in my life, and she is no longer here with us anymore. She's not, you know, here with me to celebrate my 27th birthday, and so, you know, it's kind of a bittersweet moment, you know what I mean? Like, I made it to 27, but she's not here anymore, so, you know, so I don't necessarily have like anything planned for today, and I would like to go out and eat something, like maybe go out to some sort of restaurant and possibly, like, you know, just eat and kind of just celebrate my birthday, you know what I mean? That's what I did last year with her. But I'm kind of self-conscious about going to a restaurant and just eating by myself. You know what I mean? Like if I'm not eating with a friend, or if I'm not eating with one of my god siblings or whatever, I don't know if I really want to go out to a restaurant and like eat by myself. You know what I mean? Like it would just feel weird to me. So I know there's a lot of people that will definitely you know, that do that, but I'm like a much shyer person, so I don't know if that's necessarily something I'd be feeling comfortable about doing, you know what I mean? Virginia Lake says, big hug for you. She will always be in your heart. Thank you so much for that. That truly means a lot. Yeah, there is not a day, you know, that goes by where I don't miss her, or that I don't even think about her. You know what I mean? Like, she's always on my mind, but she drives me to continue, you know, just like bettering myself in that sense, you know? So there's like a lot of things that I kind of want to do for the rest of this year, and especially before I reach 30, that I would love to accomplish, you know? But, yeah, but some things have been happening this year, which is pretty cool. I would like for, you know, to have a bit more progress or whatever, but, you know, anything to, of course, make her proud, of course, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so, but thank you so much for that, Virginia. Thank you for those words. Let's see. Victor Marquez says, remember me? Not 100% sure, actually. Is that the same name that you've always had, or did you change the name, or I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I haven't streamed for too much really, so I can't say I remember everybody that's been watching my streams for a while. And I mean, I'm not, you know, that much of a streamer anyway, so you know how it is. Elijah, happy birthday. Thank you so much, Elijah. Welcome into the stream. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I'm trying to get caught up here. Okay. Chuck E. Cheese movie. I don't know if that ever existed. Not that I know. Naughty Orca 12 says, I guess one question I always wanted to ask is, how did you create your bunny character? Did you draw it, or did someone else? I can't draw, so I definitely have somebody else that drew the character for me. Her name, her artist name at least, is Kiminuki. She does a lot of like commissions for people. She usually does like, she has her own rabbit character as well. So when I kind of saw her art on like on Facebook, that's kind of where because at the time, like, I was kind of looking for you know, people to do certain commissions, right? Because I always kind of wanted to have like a I guess you could call it a PNG avatar. I guess that's what you would call it. I'm not 100% sure. But, you know, I've kind of been looking for that for a long time. And then, but also, it's not the most cheapest thing to do, you know, because, like, I remember each expression that she drew herself. Like, I think that cost me like about $10 a piece, or close to $15 a piece, something like that. So that kind of adds up, obviously. So I spent like maybe over, I don't know how many expressions I ended up commissioning from her, but I think I ended up spending like about maybe roughly about $100. But the thing is that the way I came up with the character, I think it was kind of like was, I'd say, years ago. I was probably, wait a minute. That was a freaking hawk that just flew by my window. Holy crap. That was a big freaking hawk outside the window. Jesus. So, yeah. The things I see outside of the window in my house. God damn. But anyway, going back to it. You know, it's kind of funny. I'm talking about my character who happens to be a rabbit and a hawk kind of just flies by. So, yeah. But anyway. But yeah, so this was kind of like years ago. I think I was still in high school when I kind of came up with the character. I think, like, this is gonna sound kind of interesting and slightly weird, but I think my character was kind of, I guess you can say, like, at least the design. It was slightly slightly inspired, I guess, by I think her name was Buttercream from Littlest Pet Shop, the series that used to be on the Hub, that used to be called the Hub at the time. I know, again, sounds weird, but this was years ago, okay? That was at the time when I liked My Little Pony a lot, and I liked watching freaking Littlest Pet Shop. Shows that I never thought I would get into, might I add, at that age. So, it's crazy, but somehow, like, that's kind of slightly where the inspiration came from, I think. But then there's also another thing that's kind of part of it, but also there was like this story I remember I kept like kind of writing when I was in high school. I never ended up completing it, and like at the time I was kind of like, ooh, I'm gonna write this kids book. Oh, and it's gonna be like a kids novel or something, and it's going to be published and blah 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 blah. Like you had no idea how many times I was just like coming up with ideas for it and writing the story, and how I even came up with the story was really from like when I was in the choir, and you know, when we were kind of listening, when we were singing a certain song, which was a beautiful freaking song. Like every time we would sing that song, goosebumps would always kind of just go through me because of how beautiful it was. And the choir, you know, and the conductor did an incredible job, and the choir that I was in, we did a amazing job singing that song, and it was my favorite song that we always sung when it came to that choir. But I just remember like listening to it, I started having like some visuals and whatnot, and kind of started thinking about like, oh, this is the character I'll do, and this is the character I'll do. And of course, the character is a bunny. This was also the time when I just randomly just had a huge love for bunnies. Like I'm not gonna say that I was obsessed with bunnies or anything though, but like, I just liked bunnies. Bunnies were on the brain sometimes. And so I just remember like when I was making that particular story, I kind of had like this image of like, oh, well, the bunny is kind of a white and black bunny. It has some black spots, and also it has a kind of like the character. I kind of named the character Sky for this channel, but the black kind of circle or black spot around its eye kind of came from that idea, because for whatever reason, like I had like this image of like, oh hey, well, there's, you know, the bunny's white, black spots, and has like a big black circle around it. I don't know where that particularly came from, but that's kind of, it just kind of stuck with me. And so when it came to Sky, you know, I just kind of created that character, and it kind of just stuck with the black eye. I mean, the black spot around its right eye, I guess. Yeah, technically it's its right eye. But yeah, it just kind of stuck, I guess. And I made, there was a time, and I don't even know if like, DeviantArt has these anymore, but I remember like when DeviantArt would have like these I guess mini games where you could like create your own design or something. Kind of like, say for example, the not Pokemon Maker. They didn't have that. I don't think so. They probably did. I don't know. But the Pony Maker, that was kind of how like when I had my pony avatar way back in the beginning of this channel, I used a I used a pony maker to create like an avatar for this channel essentially. And so I kind of stuck with that. And so there was a bunny maker, I guess, where you could like create your own I guess colored bunny or something. And so somehow it ended up just being like, oh hey, there's yellow, and then let's have like the ears kind of have like a black tip at the top, and let's have like the hair also be black. I don't know where that came from, but that was just something I did. And then, you know, the spots on the eye, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of it's an interesting story, I guess you can say. I hope it's interesting. I don't know. But that's kind of just how Sky as a character came to be. And when I kind of created that, I just kind of stuck with it. You know, then I started having some people drawing different doing some drawings of Sky. And then it was like, you know what? Okay, yeah, let's make Sky the avatar for this YouTube channel. And so that's kind of just how it all came to be. So a very long-winded story, and I'm kind of surprised I remember all of that. But yeah, that's kind of how the bunny character for this channel came to be, and how it became you know, the avatar for this channel. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah. So again, I'm kind of surprised that I just remembered like all of that when it came to that. So yeah. Let's see here. Gonna have to unfortunately put you, sir, in spam or in timeout, just because I do not want anybody, for whatever reason, it is taking too long to do anything. Yeah. I am gonna have to ask, when it comes to asking questions in the chat, that you do not, spam questions. If I miss your question, you can ask like maybe in a few minutes or something, or I don't know. I just don't want the chat to be filled with spam. So that's all I'm saying. So I will put you in timeout if you keep spamming over and over and over again. That's the only thing I'm going to say there. But I will answer your question regardless. But hopefully you don't spam again. So Cartoon Network fan says, Mao Heroes of Pure Heart Season 2 is in limbo. Is that true, or is that just a hoax? As far as I know, that is true, but that was confirmed like I think a few months ago. I think it was confirmed like in December or something. But as of right now, we don't know if it's still in limbo, or if it's still currently ongoing, or if it's finished. We don't know. Again, the creator, Parker Simmons, has not made a post on his Twitter, as far as I was able to see, that the show was canceled. He hasn't said anything about like, it was so great working on the show with all these people, and I will really miss you guys, and hopefully good luck with all your future endeavors, and yada yada yada. I haven't seen that from him. I don't think anyone has seen that from him. And also, you haven't seen any like writers or animators from the show, or even voice actors from the show who also kind of, I guess, also kind of written the show as well. I think the voice actors for Badger Clops and Adorabat, I think they also worked on producing the show as well. They haven't really said anything. I don't even know if they have a Twitter. They might and they might not. I don't know. But either way, I haven't really seen anybody that worked on Mao saying all those words of like, oh man, I wish that we could continue going on, but we had a great time working on the show when we did, and we're gonna miss everybody and blah blah blah. I haven't really seen that from anyone, so at this point, I'm not really sure if Mao is canceled when it comes to its second season, or if the second season is still coming. I have no idea. If anything, I'm gonna have to assume that if we ever see Mao returning to the schedule at any point, whether it be this year or next year, that might tell us that Mao will be coming back for a second season. That would be my guess. It would make sense. That's what they're technically doing right now with Summer Camp Island. You know what I mean? Like with Summer Camp Island, they just started airing episodes of the show this week. And so in 2 weeks, they're going to start having premieres of the second season, I think, or something like that. But either way, right now they're going through the first season. We're gonna eventually go through the second season, then we're gonna go through the third, through the fourth, through the fifth, and then the final season. Or is the fifth the final season, or is it the sixth? I don't know. I don't really catch up. I don't keep up with the show all that much because I'm not really one that really watches that show, if anything else. But yeah, that's kind of how things are when it comes to that. So yeah. Yes. Okay. Let me go up a little. Mark says birthday hug to Regularjosh1. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Cobalt Play says, I was gonna ask that question, your artist. Yeah. I guess I could give you guys a link to her Twitter page so you guys can at the very least check out her art. She's a really good artist, and like literally when I saw her art, I was like, yes, I have to commission her. You know what I mean? And also at the time I had to look for like some good deals in terms of who could do commissions. So let me there she is right now, and commissions happen to be open as well. So all right, so I will send you guys a link to her Twitter. Oops, what happened? Okay, you know what? That's fine. I don't know why that happened with the music, but that's fine. Okay, so yeah, let me give you guys a link to, and I'll pin it in the comments as well. So why the hell is this so slow? What's going on? There we go. Okay. Hold on. So Sonic the Hedgehog says, I'm a PNG YouTuber. I do it on Kaliki? I need to look that up. I have no idea what that is. But yeah, anyway, here's the link to her YouTube, to her Twitter. And again, I'm gonna pin that in the comments. So if you guys want to check that out, that's if you guys have a Twitter. You guys might not have a Twitter. I technically have one, but it's mainly just I keep myself hidden, you know what I mean? Because I don't really want to get I don't want to really involve myself with Twitter. I still don't really like the site, but you know, there's certain people that I follow. You know, that's kind of how I get like my news sometimes. Like, say I get my Disney news or Disney parks news from Twitter sometimes, and from a YouTuber that I watch. Virginia Lake actually is a subscriber to the Disney YouTuber that I also am subscribed to, and so that's kind of how she found me, because we kind of talk with each other when we're in his streams, because we chat. I'm also a moderator in his chats as well when he does his streams and what have you. But yeah, I kind of tend to get my Disney Parks news there. I'll get my like Cartoon Network news or Nickelodeon news from Twitter as well. So, and that's kind of why I made one, mainly just so I can kind of keep looking at like certain news that gets announced, you know, from people who like finds news on Twitter. So like maybe I make a video about it, talk about it here, and you know. So that's kind of where I get my sources essentially. But yeah, but for the most part, like I kind of just keep myself hidden. I follow a lot of people, and then I also follow some hobby stuff as well. But at the same time, like I don't really make it known that I have a Twitter, because, or, you know, if you ever try to find me on Twitter, you're not going to, because, you know, like I would rather keep it that way, you know, because I don't want many people following me, and I don't want many people, you know, it's that whole thing. If I were to make a Twitter for the channel, that would be a different situation, but I think I want to keep that from happening. So yeah. Hey, ooh, this is actually a very good question here. Cameron Parker, hello, welcome. I'm not sure if I said hi to you. I don't think so. I don't know. But welcome to the stream if I haven't already. You say, what do you think about the writer's strike? That is a very, very good question. A worthless piece of Protoplasm, I guess, says hi. Happy birthday, dude. Hope you have a good one. Thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. All right, so the writer's strike that is currently going on. I think it is 100% well-deserved. The writers are, you know, all they want is to, they're just looking for a fair wage. You know, like they notice that their pay has not kept up with inflation recently. And they feel like they're being completely overworked with the amount of stuff that they're doing. They're also worried about the potentialities of AI possibly taking over the work, because, you know, studios will definitely try to say, yeah, we don't really need you writers anymore, so we're gonna let the AI take over and yada yada yada. And so obviously writers don't want that. You know what I mean? Which makes sense. Of course they wouldn't want that. So with that in mind, there's a lot of things that they're asking for. Of course, like certain pensions and residuals, because if you write for a show, like, here's an example. I did an episode of Bob Hart's Abishola as a co-star role. Had no lines, but I was still fairly featured in it. And I get residuals for that show. I recently cashed in a residual check about, like, I think 2 weeks ago, and it was a pretty good amount of money. You know what I mean? So I get residuals for that show because I was in that episode. And anytime that episode airs or anytime it's streamed, I basically get paid because I was in the show. So that's kind of how it works. So if you're a writer and your specific episode that you written on gets aired on television, you get a certain amount. You should get like a certain amount of money in your residual check. So you get paid every single time that episode, or Lord knows how many episodes you've written, gets aired on television. So they've also noticed that the residuals have kind of gone down too, but the residuals is a completely different situation when it comes to streaming services. Now that's another thing that they're also fighting against when it comes here is the streaming services, right? On average, okay, if you're an actor, probably if you're a director, and if you're a writer, on average, if your show is on streaming, you make less. You get paid less, and the residuals are way less than what you would make on television. No one knows why that is, but that's just how things are right now. And so they're trying to fight against that, where you get much better residuals when it comes to shows being streamed and being on these streaming services. And you also get better pay for when you are doing these streaming services and when your shows are on the streaming services. Because again, if you do it on television, the actors, writers, directors, people who work on the show, they get way more for the work that they've done. But when it comes to the streaming services, they get paid much less. Like, really think about that. These huge studio companies, Disney, I almost said Fox. I guess you could still kind of consider them, yeah, but they're kind of owned by Disney now. Sony, Warner Brothers Discovery, Comcast, you know, all these huge, Paramount, all of the Netflix, all of these big companies are making record profits year after year after year, but they're not paying the people who are kind of making them rich, which are the writers and the directors and the people who are creating these shows and the actors and yada yada yada. I mean, actors, for the most part, these actors, at least like the really high list actors or A-list actors, you know, they're the ones that are definitely making like great money, but there's some of them that are kind of, you know, gaining less because of, oh, their show's on the streaming service or yada yada yada, that whole situation. So yeah, like, so that's kind of why the writer's strike is going on. And you know, honestly, I thought about possibly doing a video talking about the writer's strike, and mainly it would be about how this could affect, say, your shows on maybe Disney Channel or on Nickelodeon or on Cartoon Network. Could the writer's strike affect these cartoons that are coming to these channels? It could be something I still do, and then maybe not, I don't know. But if anything, I can answer this right now, honestly. That's not necessarily, it could, but then it really depends, because the thing is, when it comes to the Writers Guild of America, that's mainly dealing with like live action series. So a lot of shows that are filmed and movies that are filmed use Writers Guild of America. They use that union essentially. And you know, everybody who's doing that and it's kind of the same with like these late night shows like The Late Show with Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon and whatnot. You know, they're all WGA writers, so they can't do the show now because, you know, this whole strike that's happening. However, when it comes to like, say, most cartoons, there's some cartoons that do use WGA writers, but most cartoons use tag writers, which is the Animation Guild, right? And so if you're say working on like Phineas and Ferb, which we know that the current reboot or the revival of the show is currently being written on, they're able to do that because those writers are part of the Animation Guild. And so because of that, they're not part of this writer strike that is going on right now. Should they be? I think so, because people who work on animated shows write, you know, they work less. No. People who work on animated shows, who write animated shows, they get paid significantly less than anybody that gets that writes for these live action shows, because they get paid way more than anybody that writes animated shows. That's BS, but that's how it works right now. Should they be on strike? I think so. I think the Animation Guild in general should definitely do a strike, because they're not really getting compensated all that well for all the work they're doing, you know. But yeah, that's kind of the whole situation there. And of course, you know, now you have a potential for the SAG-AFTRA, which is the Screen Actors Guild, right? There's a possibility that they could also go on a strike. They just voted to authorize a strike, and they're currently in negotiations with the AMPTP, which is I guess the American Motion Picture well, it has to do with like the producers. I don't know like the full name, but it has to do with like the producers who do like these movies and shows and all that stuff, right? So they're currently in negotiations with the Actors Guild, right? And if the negotiations don't really go anywhere, because the contract almost ends right now, and so when the negotiations again, have to put you in timeout because you are spamming, and again, I ask not to spam in the chat, please. So I'd have to put you in timeout once again. I would rather not hide you on this chat. If I have to, I will. I would rather not do that, but again, I ask no spamming questions or no spamming anything in the chat. But continuing, at the end of the month, right, if the Actors Guild does not reach any sort of deal with the producers or the people who, I guess, represent the producers, which, you know, represent the big studio companies, then the actors go on strike. And when the actors go on strike, every single show that is currently being that's being filmed will cease production. They would have to completely shut down, because then no actors are going to be going on set. They're going to be walking the picket lines, right? And they're going to be picketing along with the Writers Guild. I mean, some of the actors are already doing that right now, right? Because some of their shows are finished filming, or some of their shows had to stop filming because they got no writers on set. So there's that whole situation. So I think it is definitely very needed to happen, because like excuse me, it's very, very needed to happen in order for these people to get fairly compensated for their work. You know, that's why these strikes happen, because people feel as if they're not getting compensated enough for the work that they're doing. And, you know, if they got to make things stop, essentially, to get their point across, then that's what they got to do. So, of course, I wish all the best for all the writers, you know, because again, they definitely deserve to get their pay, because if it wasn't for the writers, none of these shows would exist. And AI is not even nearly as good enough yet. I don't know if it'll ever get there. But the AI is definitely not good enough to have that human touch to where like you can have like a good script to be written. You know what I mean? It can maybe help out with certain things, and that's the thing. If you use AI as like a certain tool, maybe to help out with what you're doing, that's a completely different situation. But to use AI to completely, like, say, replace writers or replace actors or replace directors, that's just not a good thing. You know what I mean? Because that puts a lot of people out of work, and then things will probably end up tanking because, you know, AI is merely imitation, and also it's kind of like a search engine, if that makes sense. You know, it's not at that point where you can particularly just have it take over everything. It's probably going to be getting to that point, but it's not exactly there. So that's excuse me, that's kind of where I am with the writers strike. I hope that they can be able to make some sort of deal happen, just so not just necessarily so the shows can go back and continue, but mainly so, like, again, the writers see, you know, that they're getting compensated fairly and that their demands are met. Okay. Let's see. Dorothy says, I support the strike as well. Let's see. Mache says, you are amazing. Thank you. I don't believe I'm amazing. But thank you so much for that. Cuppy? Yeah, Cuppy. I don't think I've seen you before, but welcome to the stream if I haven't seen you before. I don't fully remember. Again, I don't stream that much, so I'm not going to remember everybody. But you say, what is going on with Pixar? I don't know. It's kind of rough with Pixar right now, you know. You know what? Actually, it's let me put it this way. It's not even just a Pixar thing that's going on. I mean, because as you guys know, I mean, some of you guys may know, some of you guys may not know. Excuse me, but there's been plenty of like cutbacks or layoffs that happened within Pixar, unfortunately. But that's also because Disney, as an entire company right now, they're kind of trying to do some cutbacks as well. This is technically, this is kind of like what Walt, I'm going all over the place. It's kind of like another version of Warner Brothers Discovery, in the sense that they're trying to cut back a certain amount of money in terms of how much they're spending. Warner Brothers Discovery, as we know, they did like about $3-point-something billion worth of cutbacks, right? Which meant a lot of shows being taken off of HBO Max, shows being written off for tax purposes, movies being canceled, blah, 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 blah. We all know the song and dance and everything. So we know what was going on there. That is technically currently what is going on right now with Disney. But Disney is looking to cut back $5.5 billion. So because of that, a lot of layoffs have been happening right now. There's been some shows. I don't think we've seen any shows that's been like canceled, at least in the same way that Warner Brothers Discovery has been canceling shows. As far as I know, Disney has not canceled any projects that's ready to come out or any projects that's currently being worked on. As far as I know, they haven't done any of that. But they have removed quite a bit of shows. Well, not too much, but they've been removing some shows from their Disney Plus app as well, because of the cutbacks that they're making right now. So unfortunately, this also ended up hitting Pixar, and it hit some people that were kind of integral to Pixar, and it's kind of surprising, but you know, so that's kind of the situation at this point. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But yeah, I hope things kind of get better, but also I think part of it is that, like, with Pixar, I don't think Pixar's been doing the greatest right now, and part of it I think, is because, the pandemic happened, and when Disney was releasing these movies, they just put it on streaming. Obviously, that's all they were able to do because the movie theaters were shut down. You couldn't really put any of those movies in the theaters. The thing is, and I'm sure a lot of you guys remember this, when Disney was releasing their own animated movies, I think Encanto was one of them. Encanto came out during the pandemic, right? Yeah, I think so. Right? I think so. Let me know in the chat if Encanto came out in the, excuse me, if it came out during, the pandemic, because I don't fully remember if it did or if it didn't. But Raya and the Last Dragon definitely did, and so did Mulan. But Dorothy says yes. Okay. But, remember when they were releasing those movies on stream, like Raya and the Last Dragon and Encanto and Mulan, not Pixar, might I add, right? Those movies were being put on Disney Plus, but you had to pay, like, I think an extra $20 or $30 to be able to access those movies for, like, a certain period of time. So kind of almost equal to what you would pay for or maybe a little over what you would pay for a movie ticket. So who else is spamming? Okay. I'm not seeing any as of right now, but let me know. But yeah, but remember, they had like the early access where you had to pay about like $30, $20 or something in order to see those movies. They never did that with Pixar. They just released the Pixar movies on Disney Plus. And the thing is, when you put shows on streaming services, they're actually not as successful in the sense of making their money back. You know what I mean? And so when you take a look at, say, Soul or Luca or Turning Red, those movies obviously are cultural phenomenons as of right now. At least Soul, and I don't know exactly much about Luca, but Turning Red definitely is. I can go on a whole tangent about that. It's just not my movie. But either way, like those particular films, even though a lot of people talk about those movies and everything, because they were only put on streaming and they were not put into the movies, even though Turning Red could have been put into the theaters, they didn't really make their money back. You know what I mean? The thing is, when you put your when you put your movie in the theater, right, and you got people paying tickets to go see the movie, you have a way more probability of being able to... Is that even the correct term? I don't know. Either way, you have way more of a chance of making your money back, right? Say your movie is $150 million. You have a very quick possibility of making that $150 million within maybe the first week, depending on how hot of a ticket that movie happens to be, or within the first 2 weeks. You make that money back. And then you want to continue, obviously, making even more money on top of how much you put into the film. So... because you put it on streaming services, you were not able to do that. You're not able to do that, like, yeah, a lot of people are, watching the films and whatnot, but the money doesn't really go to these movies, or it kind of does, but at a much lower rate than, say, if you were to put these films in the theater. Okay, Cartoon Network Fan 2023, I am going to give you one last warning. Please, again, stop spamming in the chat. All right, I know you're asking questions and you want me to answer your questions. I will get to them eventually, but I'm just asking not to spam. If you spam again, I am going to unfortunately have to just remove you from the chat. I would rather not do that, but if it has to come to that, then I will unfortunately have to do that. So again, asking... do not spam, all right? And that's for everybody. No spamming. But yeah, so if anything, when it comes to Pixar, I think that's kind of partially what caused a little bit of its issues. Is because it's not making too much, because it didn't make a lot of money off of those 3 films that came out during the pandemic. It's kind of been lacking in terms of how much money they were able to have. I think Onward came out before the pandemic, and I'm not sure if that was a big money maker. It might have been, I don't know, I don't fully remember. But Lightyear, I don't think Lightyear was great at the box office either. I think that was also a flop of a film. And so when you kind of have another flop in your hands, especially when you return it to the movie, it's to the theaters, it's kind of looks a little rough for them, unfortunately. And then you also have Elemental coming out literally later on next week. And I'm not 100% sure how that one's going to do. I'll be honest, I'm not exactly looking forward to Elemental. I don't think I'm going to really see it. It's just, I don't know. It's just something about it just doesn't necessarily make me say, ooh, yeah, I'm very excited to see that movie. I don't really have that feeling. And so if not Villainous, wow. Shamex said Villainous is a real cartoon, so somehow that just made it into my head. But if Elemental, I guess, doesn't do so well at the box office, that's going to spell more problems for Pixar. And that's going to be an issue, you know? They got to have a movie be a good moneymaker, you know? And is Elemental going to be able to do that? I don't really know. I hope so for the sake of Pixar, but at the same time, I'm not really sure, you know? So that's kind of the situation right now. Virginia Lake says Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars are struggling with quality movies. They really are, honestly. I can't say too much about Marvel or Star Wars because I'm not really into Star Wars, as you know, or Marvel. I mean, I can watch a couple of their movies, but I'm not really like flocking to. I'm just not like a huge fan of superhero movies, you know, because I think I've seen them like a million times, or I don't know. But like, yeah, it's they have been kind of. I think Disney's last really good movie. And that doesn't include Pixar, I think probably was Encanto. I haven't really seen Raya and the Last Dragon. I wasn't really all that interested, but I didn't really hear, like, I heard some good things about it, but it wasn't like rave reviews about that particular movie. People liked it, but it wasn't the greatest that came out of them. And then last year you had Strange World, and I haven't really heard all that great things about Strange World either. That was also technically considered a flop as well. So yeah, Disney has definitely been struggling recently when it comes to, you know, some good movies. And then I've been hearing from certain people, Star Wars franchise, when it comes to like the movies and the series they've had on Disney Plus, that's been struggling. And then some of the stuff with Marvel as well, that's also kind of been struggling too. So that's kind of been a whole thing. And I think part of it, honestly, at least when it comes to like, say, Star Wars and Marvel, I think part of it, if anything, is that, because they've been focusing so much of putting like, let's make this series, let's do that series, let's do this series, and putting it on Disney Plus, there's like so much Marvel TV shows on Disney Plus and so much Star Wars TV series on Disney Plus. I think they've been focusing so much on that that they're really focusing more on quantity more than quality, I think. And that probably shows. People probably are picking up on that, I think. So I think if they were to kind of slow down on the amount of shows they were working on and the amount of movies they were coming out with, you probably would have some better stuff. I don't know. Just saying, it's possible. I have no idea. But yeah, it's kind of been somewhat of a struggle bus. It's kind of a thing that Mondo from Five Fires, who is the Disney streamer that I follow, and I met him a couple of times. He's an awesome dude. That is something he says. He tends to say it's a struggle bus. But yeah, it's kind of been, you know, it's a good term, struggle bus for Disney recently when it comes to their movies and what have you. And their latest animated film that's going to be coming out later this year, which is Wish. I'm kind of mixed on it. Like, it looks interesting, but then there's a part of me, like, when I was watching the teaser or the trailer that came out, I didn't necessarily get that excited for it. It was like, okay, yeah, this looks kind of interesting. maybe something I'll check out. But it wasn't really something where I was like, oh, this looks incredible, I have to watch this movie. I didn't really feel that with Wish. I hope Wish is a great film. It's supposed to be, you know, I guess about like, oh, the story of Disney's wishing star or something, you know, or the origin of the wishing star, of Disney's wishing star, I think. So hopefully it turns out to be a great movie. I don't know, but that's that's the hope. But yeah, Disney's kind of struggling right now, and I'm really hoping, if anything, that Disney, kind of improves when it comes to, Gary the editor says, ugh, Strange World. I think I forgot that you saw that movie. And I'm not really sure if you, like, I don't think I remember exactly how much you disliked it, or if you thought it was boring. I kind of forgot. But yeah, but I do hope that Disney kind of gets back to, giving us some great films. Gary the editor says easy 5 out of 10 for me. Oh man, I mean, it's mid. Cuppy says Strange World was mid as hell. God damn. Guess I'm glad that I didn't necessarily see that movie then. Nancy also says Strange World wasn't good, honestly, and I do agree Disney's last good movie was Encanto. Yeah, I mean, I truly believe it, I think Encanto, because at first I wasn't really all that sure if I wanted to see Encanto, but then there was like a community that I was a part of on Discord, also a Disney community, excuse me, and they did kind of like a movie night, right? And so they kind of watched Encanto on Discord, and I kind of joined in. It was kind of fun to be able to chat with everybody while we were watching the movie. It was really fun. So, and I really enjoyed Encanto. So it's like, this is a really good movie. I can understand why so many people love this film. And again, I just don't think that that's really come across with any other Disney film that's come out recently. I could be totally wrong. And the thing is, I haven't really been watching a lot of Disney movies recently either. So I can't really speak too much on it anyway, but even then, I see kind of like the reception of what people say online or sometimes the reviews, and it's like, it's kind of seems like it's lacking in a way. You know what I mean? Virginia Lake says, absolutely agree with you. Quantity versus quality. Mando season 3 was just okay. I'm staying hopeful. Yeah, I've been hearing that. I've heard, like, even, like when Mondo was talking about it on his streams a couple of times, I think he liked the finale of the season 3 of Mandalorian, but it seemed like he was kind of overall disappointed with season 3. So yeah, it's kind of just been, very interesting in that regard. But yeah, again, I do definitely think it has something to do with quantity over quality. Let's just pump out as many shows as we can on Disney. And that's the funny part about this as well. Okay. I have to mention this. All right. Disney Plus is not really all that profitable. In fact, a majority of these streaming services are not that profitable, right? But you want to know what's really profitable for Disney right now? Their goddamn theme parks. Disneyland, California Adventure combined, because most people get park hopper when they go to Disneyland. I don't think many people really get a one-day ticket just to go to California Adventure. No disrespect to California Adventure, but when I do my Disneyland day, I do Disneyland for like the first few hours of the day. Then I'll do California Adventure for like maybe 3, 4, 5 hours. And then I'll be at Disneyland for the rest of the day. That's kind of how I do it, because I can mease out everything at California Adventure very quickly. There's barely anything I do at California Adventure sometimes. And then, it's a whole thing. But those two parks, Disney World, right? That's a huge freaking, like, that attracts millions of tourists each year, right? I don't even want to go into the whole situation with that stupid ass governor in Florida. I don't even want to talk about that. But still, like, these parks are bringing in massive profits over and over and over again, right? It's clear that that's where they're making their money, but they take that money and put it into the studio so they can continue pumping out a bunch of content on Disney Plus. And it's like, why not put that money that you're making at the theme parks back into the theme parks? It makes no sense, but whatever. It's like, the theme parks are the more profitable part of the business right now. But for whatever reason, they want to put way more of that money into their movies, into their TV shows. And it's like, I mean, I guess it's something they kind of have to do, but at the same time, it's like, put more of your money into the theme parks. That's clearly where a lot of people, I mean, anybody in the chat, have any of you guys been to a Disney park recently? Whether it be Walt Disney World or here in California at Disneyland, it is always packed. Like, it is always packed. Even with reservations, which I'm kind of glad they have reservations, because when it does get busy, it doesn't get like to maximum capacity, which they've done that a couple of times and it's horrible. I would never want to go to Disneyland at a maximum capacity limit. Hell no. But like, when it gets busy at Disneyland and Disney World, it gets busy. Okay? Like, the lines are very long. It feels kind of cramped in certain spaces with a bunch of people. It's insane. And tickets to go, especially in the summer, okay? In the summer, most tickets, probably on the weekends, are probably going to cost, and this is for one day. One day, one park. So if you want to go to Disneyland or California Adventure, you got to pick one. On the weekends, during this month, next month, and parts of August as well, you're going to be paying up to $180 for one person. And if you want to do Park Hopper, and this is for one person, might I add, if you want to do Park Hopper, that's $244. And those are the days that they are expecting to be the most expensive. And so that's why they hike up the ticket prices for that. So Disney is expensive. It is hellishly expensive. That's how they're making their damn money. Okay, that's how they're making their money. And the merch and the food and everything else that's inside the goddamn Genie Plus program. Ugh, that's a whole nother thing I do not want to talk about. I freaking hate it. But yeah, they're making a bunch of money at their parks. But for whatever reason, when it comes to their lackluster movies and shows and whatnot, and some of them don't really make that much of a profit now anymore, especially if you put them on Disney Plus, they still put the money in Disney Plus. I don't get it, but it is what it is. It's weird, it's crazy, but that's, God, it's nuts, man. Absolutely freaking nuts. Let me see. Mason really says, I also heard Splash Mountain was shut down this year. Yeah, Splash Mountain at Disneyland just shut down, I think 2 weeks ago. And it is going to be replaced by Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Do I care? No. Why? I don't do log flumes, okay? I don't do log flumes. I can't do those drops, all right? I mean, or you know what? I probably can. I probably will. Like, I probably can, like, do those kind of drops. It's just, if something scared the hell out of me when I was a kid, it takes me a while to get over that fear. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's probably kind of weird, but that's just how it is, you know? Like, I remember when my mom took me to Knott's Berry Farm, I went to their log ride, right? And when I was a kid, I never knew about the drop. It was the first time ever going to Knott's Berry Farm with her, right? When I went to the log ride, because she took me on there, I never knew about the drop, and I was probably 5 or 6 years old when this happened. So I never noticed the drop when I was in the queue. And I just thought it was like a calming ride. You're in this log and you're kind of going down the stream. There's animatronics and yada, yada, yada. Then all of a sudden you're going into a dark room and then you go down the first drop. That scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. And then you go through the rest of the ride. Then you go up the goddamn lift hill. And I'm like, what's happening? There's a big drop. And ever since then, I freaking hated the log ride. And so you know, and a couple of other times I was forced to get on the log ride when I was a kid. Still hated it. So, So I can't do log rides, right? So regardless, like with Splash Mountain being turned into Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I don't really care all that much because I have no attachment to the ride, but at the same time, I understand why people are upset that it's changing, and you know, so trust me, I 100% understand that. Excuse me. But yeah, like it's a whole situation when it comes to that. I'm gonna try to catch up with some of the comments here. Let's see. Nancy says Disney also needs to stop with the live action remakes. Absolutely. Scuttlebutt. Little Mermaid 2023. Scuttlebutt. That's literally all I need to say. I freaking hate that damn song. Okay? I may be the only one that hates that damn song. I hate that song. Okay? Like, I mean, the first time I was listening to that song, first of all, I knew instantly it was Lin-Manuel Miranda. Okay? It just has that Lin-Manuel Miranda feel to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's obvious that he worked on this song. But when I listened to it, I was like, what the hell is this song? And then I ended up seeing, like, the scene, because they released the scene on YouTube as well. And I'm like, what were these people smoking when they created this damn scene? Like, it was crazy to me. But yeah, Scuttlebutt is literally the only thing I need to say when it comes to the Little Mermaid movie. I hate it. Okay? And I refuse to see I refuse to see any Disney live action remake. Okay? I hate these things. I refuse. I just refuse. But yeah, okay, but again, I'm gonna try to get caught up. Mason Wrigley says, I missed The Lion Guard. The Lion Guard, in my opinion, was not only just an awesome Disney Junior show, agreed on that, but a great spinoff to The Lion King as well. Also agreed. It's a shame, though, that I couldn't see the third season, because I just kept getting spoiled on, like, what was happening in the third season. And then I found out what happened at the end of the third season, and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, I just lost all freaking excitement to even check out the third season. And so I just never checked it out. Look, when certain things that I'm excited for get spoiled for me, whether it be by a video clip that pops up on my feed, or I'm scrolling through, like, Facebook groups or something, or maybe Twitter groups or whatever, and people just flat out say, hey, yeah, so this happens. It's like, okay, well, you just killed the excitement. I'm not gonna watch it now. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the point? That almost happened to me in Zootopia. I remember somebody, like, posted a picture from, like, I guess one of the ending scenes in the movie, and I was like, are you freaking serious? You just, you know, it wasn't exactly the biggest spoiler, but I didn't know that, you know, but I almost said, I guess I'm not going to see the film, but I ended up seeing the movie, and, you know, obviously I enjoyed it, so, excuse me, but, yeah, continuing, Emo and Yasha says, that reminds me, I have Disney World on July 19th, I hope you enjoy, be prepared for that summer, for that Florida heat, man. I've heard it's been very, very, very hot. The weird part is that when I've been to Florida in Orlando, and this was over a decade ago, right? Me and my mom used to go all the time, mainly because she had conferences over there. Well, not conferences, but, and now I got the hiccups. You know what? I'll be right back. Just a very quick second. I will be right back, and I will continue that. So, be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Getting some water. it is what it is. All right, so continuing on with what I was saying. But yeah, but like, me and my mom, we used to go like almost every year for about like 4 years or so to Orlando. And one time we took my godbrother as a surprise to Orlando so he could also experience Disney World. But what I was saying was that the weird part is when I was there, I don't necessarily remember it being very humid or hot or anything. It was strange. And it only rained on me like maybe once throughout all the years I've been to Orlando. So it's crazy how like the weather has kind of gotten like even more insane in a way. Like I don't understand how that happens, but it happened. So yeah, I find so I just find that to be kind of interesting in that regard. But either way, Emo and Inuyasha, if you are still in the chat, I hope you have fun when you go to Disney World. I'm trying. I may try to go back sometime this year. There is a film festival that's happening in Orlando, and one of these short films that I did about 2 years ago is actually going to be. They've done like plenty of film festivals, so that's awesome for my short film. And the director who wrote it and produced it and directed and everything, I'm so happy for him. You know, the fact that the movie is just getting out there, it's incredible. But yeah, it's been picked up by one of the film festivals down in Orlando in September, and so he kind of invited me, and I said I would love to be able to make it out over there. So I am probably gonna try to do that. I'm not fully sure how, but I'm definitely gonna find a way to make it work if I can. I hope so. I would love to go back to Orlando. It's been years. But yeah, so either way, come July 19th, I hope you have a lot of fun at Disney World. Let's see. Classic Sonic Manic says, hello, funny enough, you share the same birthday as me. Interesting. Wow. So happy birthday to you, Classic Sonic Maniac. I usually don't, it's weird, I usually don't really meet anyone that has the same birthday as I do. Obviously I know a lot of people do, but I tend not to really meet a lot of people who have the same birthday as I do. Am I the only one? I don't know. Jacob says, I went to Disney World last year. Hope you had a lot of fun when you were there. Nancy says, I've never been to Disneyland. If you ever make it out to California, you have to visit at least once, okay? It's a lot of fun, you know, especially if you're there all day. And of course, if you can try to catch the fireworks, oh, absolutely. The fireworks at Disneyland are incredible. It's almost a must do. But also, if you do Disneyland, you have to take a lot of like patience because lines can be long. You gotta also take some money there because the food is not the cheapest. Neither are the merchandise as well. And you should also take a lot of downtime as well. Like what I tend to do is I'll walk around a lot. You'll be walking like definitely over a few miles, just doing a lot of stuff at Disney. But you know, like it can take a toll on your feet, and so I would recommend that whenever you can, if you were to do Disney, and this is for anybody, honestly, take a while and just sit down. Just sit on a bench or sit down and eat for a while, just so you can rest your feet. It will definitely do you some good, especially if you're going to be there all day. So that's a tip. So hopefully someday you can make it out to Disneyland. It is definitely, it's a fun time. It's expensive, but it's fun. Mason says, many Disney parks and places are more than just packed. It's like a huge group of packed people. Abso-freaking-lutely. Dorothy says, that's why I want to go to Universal. Universal in Hollywood is a different story. It is also crowded currently because of Super Nintendo World that recently opened. I have yet to go because it's been so busy. And I think me and a friend, Javon, we were kind of planning on going sometime last month. But I don't know if they've even gone yet. I'm not sure, but I kind of want to hold off on going to Nintendo World because, again, of how crowded it is. It's a smaller land, but also, I mean, Universal in general is smaller anyway. But either way, the Super Nintendo World is not that big of a land, if anything else, but it's so popular. And so I would like to ride the ride. I would like to also eat at the one restaurant that they have over there that's really freaking popular. But even then, like, I'm not really sure when I'm gonna make my way back to Universal Studios. It's been a while since I've been there, so eventually I may want to do that. I don't know. Excuse me. Oh, I just had Emo and Yaja. Yeah. All right. So let me just take care of something very quickly. Again, unfortunately, it's just something I gotta do. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that we're just talking a lot about Disney parks. I don't talk a lot about Disney parks on this channel in general, you know what I mean? But it's kind of interesting how, like, when I do my streams, I do tend to talk a lot more about Disney parks. So yeah. Yep, it needed to be done. It needed to be done. Virginia Lake, I'm sure she's probably gone now, but says, have a most wonderful rest of your day, Josh. Take good care. Off to a graduation. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully I can see you on one of Mondo's streams tomorrow, or I think he's going to do one later on today. You might still be at the graduation, but whoever is graduating in your family, congratulations to them. Yeah, hopefully you have a good day as well, and hopefully you have a good celebration of the person's graduation. So thank you so much for joining the stream. Really appreciate that. And if you are in Mondo's stream tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. But yeah, let's see. There was one. Joseph Ramirez says, hi, Joshua. Sorry if I'm late. No, you're not late. You're not late. Not at all. Welcome to the stream. We've been streaming for an hour and 19 minutes. Oh, okay. Feels slightly longer than that for some reason. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. And then Jacob also says, happy birthday, Josh. What are your thoughts on the Cuphead show? I have yet to see it. I've never played any of the games, so I wasn't really all that interested in really checking out the series, but it looks interesting, so I might check it out eventually. If it's still on Netflix, I don't know, but it really depends. Where there was a comic. I mean, not a comic. Bro, when the hell did you get in this goddamn chat? What? Oh man, my man Javon Willis in the freaking chat said you can do those drops, man. Yo, I probably, you know, honestly, first of all, what's up? Glad that you checked out the stream if you're still here. But also, I probably can. I don't know. It's a whole fear thing. Oh, I was scared of this when I was a kid. I don't know if I'm gonna like this now. So, it's a whole thing, you know what I mean? I guess you could say I was traumatized as a kid. Thanks, Mom. I shouldn't say that, but, you know, but, yeah, but I don't know. I probably if I were to get on the log ride at Knott's Berry Farm today, I probably would be able to handle those drops way more. I don't know. Obviously, my taste in rides have gotten more, you know, I've done more thrill rides when I've gotten older. I'm still kind of working on that. I haven't done any, like, huge roller coasters and whatnot, but, you know, I'm trying to build myself up to that, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But there was a certain, there it is. Okay, so Emilian Yasha says, I remember last year when I went to Disney World for my 25th birthday, it cost me and my mom nearly $360. God damn. Was it like $360 just for one day? I'm assuming you only went for one day and you only went to one park. Cause yeah, if it's for both of you guys, it's $360, then yeah, that's, you see what I mean when we talk about Disney being fairly expensive, you know what I mean? which is kind of why I'm glad that when I do happen to go Disneyland solo, I'm the only one paying for it. So even though it's hard to pay $244 for 2 parks, whew, I can at least afford it, because if it's 2 people going with, if it's me and someone else and I'm paying for that other person's ticket, that's over $400, probably close to 500 goddamn dollars. So like, you know, shoot. But yeah, so Disney is expensive, but yeah. Oh, and Nancy, I didn't even notice he did that comment, but Nancy says, Disney in a nutshell, we've got to have money. Oh, that freaking Tom and Jerry movie. At least it's better than the Tom and Jerry movie that came out in 2021. Just saying. Excuse me. Let's see. Emo says, I can't do the drops on Pirates of the Caribbean, which is why I don't like that ride. You know, with Pirates of the Caribbean, it was kind of the same way with me. I was a kid when my mom took me to Disneyland, and the first time I got on Pirates of the Caribbean, I just thought it was similar to Small World, which in a way it is, just with the ride system. You know, with the, you know, you're on a boat and you're going through the water and you're watching animatronics and everything, right? The thing is, right, is that you have the drops on Pirates of the Caribbean, and I didn't know that as a kid. So, and the thing is, which is funny, because like I remember when I eventually ended up looking at like what the drops were on Pirates of the Caribbean, and I think it was like a night vision video that I saw like years ago. When I saw like how small those drops were, I was like, I was afraid of that. Like, I was afraid of that. Look, I understood if I was a kid, I was like 5 years old or 6 years old when I first got on that. So yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be afraid of that because I never done a drop like that before. So I get it, you know, but like, you know, it did weirdly take me kind of a while for me to eventually get over that drop of Pirates of the Caribbean. And I love that ride, you know, it's a fun ride, especially, you know, with like the animatronics, and it's like very, like all the details that are put into that ride is very kind of cool. And that's me being now 27 years old, being an adult and everything. I can now like really appreciate like some of the details that are in some of these rides, and it's absolutely incredible, to the point where I can kind of say I can kind of understand why Disney is so expensive. Slightly. I can't say that like I fully justify it being as expensive as it is, but at the same time, it's like when I kind of do see some of the details they put in their lands and their rides, it's like I can kind of slightly understand why it's so expensive. But if anything, it's just more so that I like really now appreciate all the detail and some of the love that I put in there as well. So yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Gary the editor says Scuttlebutt is the jam. Screw you. Just kidding, but Christ. Dorothy says Scuttlebutt is disgusting. Cool Drummer says happy birthday. Welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for the birthday wish. Nancy says, I mean, I love Lin-Manuel Miranda, but what was he thinking when he made Scuttlebutt? Same question that I'm asking as well. I'm trying to get caught up with the chat right now. Carter the Blues Clues, Paw Patrol, and more Fanatic says, hi Joshua, happy birthday. Thank you so much for the birthday wish. Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate that. Downcast Spark, welcome to the chat. Says, happy birthday, bro. Thank you so much. Mr. Kraft the Hero says, happy birthday. How do you feel about Man City winning the UEFA finals? Not really even sure what that is at all. I don't know what kind of sport that is, so I can't answer that. But thank you for the birthday wish as well. Thank you. Stagger Vor says, happy birthday. Thank you so much for that. Again, anybody that's doing these birthday wishes, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Again, trying to get caught up. Gabrielle Huff says, I have a question. Did you watch DuckTales? If you're talking about the original series, no, I never got the chance to check out the original series. But if you're talking about the recent series, that did it come out in 2016? I forgot which year it came out, but it was the recent DuckTales series. If you're talking about that one, I did. I wasn't a vivid watcher of it until like the final season, or no, like the last year of its season. They did like a huge marathon for a couple of days, and I just ended up checking out all the episodes, kind of getting caught up, and you know, and then yeah, I ended up checking out the final season and the final episode. The show was awesome. So yeah. It's an interesting question. Joseph Ramirez says, what is the one gift you want for your birthday? You know, one gift I would want for my birthday. I'm not sure if I really should answer that one. Not because it's morbid or it's gross or anything. Yeah, it involves the person I lost. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, I guess, you know, obviously a birthday wish is like she was still here. We could celebrate together, you know? But I guess that's probably kind of it. I guess you could say. But yeah, so that's kind of, I guess you could say that's the one birthday present I wish I could have, but obviously, you know, you can't. But I don't know. I mean, like, I haven't really, like, even besides that, you know, like, I haven't, like, I guess really said, oh, what do I really want for my birthday? You know, like, I would say for the most part, it's usually just going places, like either eating out or if anything, I actually was planning on going to Disneyland today, but I decided, nah, I'll save the money. You know, like, I was gonna buy a ticket to possibly go to Disneyland today, like two weeks ago, but I said I'll just wait. I'll probably try to still go sometime this month, so I could at the very least celebrate at Disneyland, you know, in June. But yeah, so it's a whole thing, and also, you know, I'm trying to like just wait until I get like some of the money coming in. So, but either way, yeah. But thanks for asking that question, might I add. Let's see. Downcast Sparks has been here since 5,000. Wow, since 5,000 subs? That was 2020 actually, because was that 2020 or was that the beginning of 2021? I don't even remember, but damn. Yeah, but I mean, it took a while for me to get to 5,000, and then I'm here at 10,000, almost at 11,000. Honestly, kind of crazy how fast things are going for my channel, because I'm not used to the channel being, you know, growing as fast as it is, you know. So it's been great. I've been absolutely grateful for that, of course. And still trying to, Downcast says, I would love to go to Disney World. You should, absolutely. I mean, anybody that wants to go to Disney World, if you're able to, and especially if you can afford it, absolutely go, you know. Like, I think it would definitely be worth it, because it's a lot of fun, you know. I haven't been in a long time, and I'm really hankering on going back. So again, I'm gonna possibly try to go back in September because of the film festival that's down in Orlando that I would like to attend. But who knows? We'll see. That's kind of all I have to say when it comes to that. Oh, why does it keep doing that? Christ. Where was I? Because I think there was a comment that I was, no. Okay. Alright, again, trying to get caught up. So Marcel asks, I have a question for you. Do you have your own opinion on the English dub of Villainous? You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I tried watching Villainous. I tried watching the first episode, and it just wasn't enough to keep my attention on it. So I haven't really, I've only watched like maybe like the first 5, maybe 10 minutes of the show. And again, I just couldn't really keep my attention watching the show. So I may try to watch it again. But it just, I guess it just wasn't really interesting to me as much. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't in the greatest mind space or whatever at the time. I don't know. But yeah, I just couldn't really stay all that focused on it. It's odd, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so do I have an opinion? No, not really. Inacio, I have no idea how to say your name. I apologize, but Inacio's, I guess, third studio says, I've seen some episodes of Unicorn Warriors Eternal. They were quite interesting. Yeah, I've been watching it ever since it premiered, and I've been hooked. You know, like when the show first aired, I was mainly kind of interested in just checking it out to see like, oh, how's the show? And well, it's not on Cartoon Network anymore, which it did kind of air on Cartoon Network during Acme Nights. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I forgot, but it did air on Acme Nights, so there's that. But either way, it did move like from Cartoon Network to Adult Swim, and it has their preview, their premieres on the midnights of Friday mornings. So, you know, I was kind of like really wanting to check it out, and ever since then, I've just kind of been hooked because I'm like really interested in like where the story's going, and especially with the previous episode that they just aired yesterday morning. Like, I'm very interested in like where the story is going and everything, and certain things have been revealed. Here's the thing, right? I would love to do a review of this particular show. I just don't feel as if like if I were to review it, I would do the show justice, if that makes sense. You know, I'm trying to honestly get Gary, the editor, to do the review of this show, because I think he would go into more detail about the show and like probably the themes and the story and yada yada yada. I just don't think like I would be able to do it justice. So I would love to do it, but I don't think I'm going to, just because I just don't think I'd be the right guy to review a show like this. So maybe he'll check it out, and when he does, maybe he'll do a review of it. I don't know, but I don't think I'd be able to do it. So I don't know. It's a whole thing. G-Man Dub says, happy birthday. Thank you so much for that. Welcome to the chat. Yoshi Master Leader says, do you have Mario Kart? No, I do not. I have it for the Nintendo DS. If anyone remembers the Nintendo DS, that is a previous game console that I used to have, oh man, I was in middle school when that game console came out, and it was the biggest thing at the time. So yeah, the Nintendo DS, Nintendo DSi, Nintendo 3DS, all that. I never had the 3DS though, but either way, like I always had the Nintendo DS, and it was a big thing when I was a kid. And me and some other kids in middle school, like every time in like I think nutrition and lunch, when we would be in the library and we would play the game all the time. It was so fun. But yeah, so Mario Kart, I used to have Mario Kart. But yeah, I mean, I technically still have the game console, and I technically do still have that game. Do I play on it? No, but yeah, so I guess that answers your question. Staggervore says, have you been to Legoland? I've never been to Legoland. I wish I have, but I've never been. I don't know if I would ever necessarily have a reason to go now. Maybe, I don't know. It really depends. I miss going to San Diego. I need to go back eventually. So Puffy Haired Ghost says, so Florida Disneyland or Universal Orlando, Florida? I'm not 100% sure what that question was referring to, or I don't know, but Disneyland is in California, by the way. Disney World is in Florida. So yeah. Nancy says, I'm graduating on Friday. I'm both relieved and nervous at the same time. Well, congratulations. All right. Like, hopefully, are you graduating from high school or from middle school or from college, or what are you graduating from? Let me know if you're still in the chat. LOL says, at work right now, but just dropping in to say hey, and I've been watching. I've been a long time watcher of your channel. Been watching you since you uploaded the Fairly Odd Parents season 10 rant. I was in the 5th grade when that came out. When you uploaded that video, and now I just graduated high school. Congratulations! Wow, man, you've been subbed for, yeah, that was a while. Was I still in high school when I made that video? I think I was. Might have been my senior year. I don't fully remember, but either way, congratulations on graduating from high school. You said, love the videos and you're extremely underrated and need more subs. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I mean, honestly, my channel has been growing recently quicker than it ever has before the pandemic, before 2020. So it's been great for me, honestly. So I've been very happy with that. So I hope to continue growing this channel. So yeah, but again, thank you so much for being subscribed for me for so long and still watching my videos now. That truly means a lot. Mason says, hey Josh, what do you think of the Great Wolf Lodge? I think it's cool. Have I ever been there? No, but it's also cool that there's a freaking water park indoors. I have not been to a water park in a long time. And it's crazy because I got Soak City at Knott's Berry Farm and I could go to that, and I might want to this year. But at the same time, and a part of me kind of thought about like, ooh, let me turn the camera around so you can see how gloomy it is outside. But I'm not going to do that. But yeah, like today in California, I don't know what the current weather is. Let me see if I can pull that up actually. I don't know. Either way, it's June. We're in the summer, and we're probably like in the 70s or something. So for us, it's a fairly cool summer right now, at least in my area. I don't know if Javon is still in the chat. If he is, I don't know. Like, if you are, let me know if it's like in the 70s around where you are, if it's still kind of cool, or how the weather's been in your area as well. I don't know. Or if anybody that's watching my channel right now, if you're in California, in Southern California, has it been a cold summer to you? You know what I mean? Because like right now the sun isn't out, it's still an overcast day, so that's kind of unusual for California at this time. So you know, so like there hasn't been too much of a reason, at least right now, for me to really go to a water park, but at the same time I probably still will eventually. I don't know, but it's a possibility. But yeah, I regardless, I need to go back to a water park. It's been a long time. Let's see. Joseph Ramirez says, speaking of log ride, Splash Mountain at Disney is supposed to be changing its theme to to Princess and the Frog, since the ride is based on a forgotten racist Disney movie in the 1940s. Yep, that is exactly why it is changing. Do I have much opinions about that? No, not necessarily, but yeah. It is what it is. So again, I don't have really much of a connection to the ride at all, so I can't really, but a lot of people did. A lot of people loved Splash Mountain, which only had like characters that were, I guess, that's kind of like a weird turn on our street, buddy. The hell was that? But yeah, yeah, like what am I trying to say? I think it kind of just used like characters that were barely in the apparently like the animated parts of that movie was only like a couple of minutes or something, and the rest of the movie was completely different in live action. I never saw the movie, not really ever intending on seeing the movie and anything, but yeah, so they kind of used the characters from the animated parts and whatnot. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Tiana's Bayou Adventure is going to be like, but we got a full year until that happens, so we'll see. Let's see, continuing on. Inako's third studio says, I'm glad that Teen Titans Go is no longer being the center of attention. Hooray. Yeah, thank God for that, because that show is annoying. I wish it could just die off, and eventually it will, but you know, I'll take your wins where you can. I'm excited to see Cartoon Network bring back their old shows all aboard the Hype Express. Perhaps Thomas will take us there. I see what you did there. Yeah. You know, again, so I posted a video about that yesterday with Cartoon Network bringing their older shows back. Well, Adult Swim bringing their older shows back with Checkered Pass. And while that is kind of exciting, it is slightly confusing. It's kind of like, why can't they just particularly air, or why can't Checkered Pass just be part of Cartoon Network? Like Cartoon Network's later hours, and then we go to Adult Swim or something. I don't know, but that's kind of the decision they decided to make. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. But it is going to be very interesting, and I'm glad that they're going to have, like, again, somewhat of a permanent time slot on the schedule now, so I'm definitely going to be tuning into those each night when it comes to Checkered Past, most likely. Let's see, and here's a question about that. A worthless piece of protoplasm says, I hope they air, not a question but a comment, says, I hope they air more obscure shows on Checkered Past like Robot Jones and Mega XLR. I don't think I ever saw Mega XLR, not to my recollection, but yeah, Robot Jones definitely should be aired. I agree with that. Like, they never aired it on television ever again. I don't know why, but they definitely should air that show again. I kind of missed the show. Let's see, again, trying to catch up. Neo Anton says it's all about Nintendo Land soon. Yeah, when it comes to Universal, agreed. They probably are going to, and the chat did the thing again, but okay. But they probably are going to expand on that land eventually. It wouldn't shock me at all. Let's see. Marcel says, hey, Joshua, happy birthday. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marcel. I think that's how you say your name. But yeah, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Neo Anton says, been here since the Joshua Pokemon show. It had 3, I think, roles and 4 episodes. Yeah. Oh man, that was an interesting point in my freaking channel's history. Those are all gone, by the way, but yeah, those were very interesting. I called them a crazy cartoon, and I did all the voices. I played as Pikachu and Oshawott and Tepig and fucking Piplup. Pardon my language there. Try not to cuss on these streams. But yeah, I remember doing that. It was mainly for like a school project. Weirdly enough, it was for a school project. And then I just kind of decided to, hey, let's do a series on YouTube. And it was very interesting. That's all I will say. But yeah, that was a long time ago. Oh boy. Joseph Ramirez's question for Joshua: did you see Across the Spider-Verse? I've never seen any of the Spider-Verse movies. Can't say I was all that interested in it. Can't say I'm really all that interested in it now. Again, I'm just not really all that much of a superhero movie kind of fan, you know? Like, I just don't really watch a lot of superhero movies. Again, I have watched a couple, but, or I watched more when I was younger, but now you're not really gonna catch me watching many of them at all. Nowadays, in general, I'm not really much of a movie guy at all. You know, like, I don't really watch a lot of films in my spare time or what have you. So yeah, so I don't know. But getting a little distracted for whatever reason. But yeah, like, I just, either way, I haven't really watched a lot of movies recently. And a lot of movies don't really get me all that excited, you know, so I'm not much of a movie guy, but I'm definitely not that much of a superhero movie guy, you know what I mean? Like Marvel and DC, those just don't really speak out to me, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Mason says, Nintendo DS was an absolute classic. Absolutely. Yes, it was. Dude says, happy birthday, Josh. Can you talk about Disney Channel for a bit and what shows you like on there right now? You know, I've been watching a lot more. Actually, very quickly. Nancy says, I'm graduating from a program for 21-year-olds from my high school. Oh, okay, nice. Well, congratulations on that. Andrew says, happy birthday, number 27. Thank you so much for the happy birthday wishes, of course. So yeah, so back to that with Disney Channel. I've been watching Disney Channel a lot recently, and that's because of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, Kith, Haley's on it, which is the new show that premiered on Thursday. I enjoyed that show, honestly. It looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna continue checking that one out. Damn, there was another one. I've slightly been watching Miraculous Ladybug recently, or at least when it's on, I've just kind of been tuning in. I'm not into it. The show is weird. The writing, I don't, oh man. Miraculous Ladybug. I don't know how it's gotten as big as it has, man, but it's a weird freaking show to me. It's so odd. What other show was on Disney Channel? Oh yeah, That's So Raven's Home. I've recently watched like a couple of episodes. I think it was Thursday, or was it Wednesday? It might have been Wednesday. And yeah, I had a good laugh watching that show. Raven still got it, and the show is funny. I haven't been watching a lot of that series, but I've when I checked it out, I was like, okay, yeah, this show is pretty freaking hilarious. It's great. It's great. Damn, what else? Oh yeah, there's Ghost and Molly McGee. I'm not really exactly all that into Ghost and Molly McGee. Like I tried watching it, and it's just not necessarily my thing. I might try to watch it again, like maybe try to like fully focus on it eventually, but other than that, like again, I'm not really all that into Ghost and Molly McGee at that point. So, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, but I have been watching Disney Channel a lot more. I think they've gotten a lot better with the kind of shows they have. They still do have some of their sitcom shows, which some are okay, some are great, like That's So Raven's Home. Raven's Home, I think that's what it's just called, Raven's Home. That's a great show. Yeah, and some of them are just whatever. But oh yeah, and there's Saturdays, the show Saturdays as well. That show's pretty funny too. It's pretty great. So I've been watching that every now and then, and it's a pretty good show. But yeah, but like that show, Disney Channel, I think in general, has just kind of gotten better, especially since they're now bringing us some more animated shows. Because for a while, we barely had any shows. Oh yeah, and then there's also Big City Greens as well. I watch that too pretty often. But yeah, they've been bringing us a lot of animated content with Disney Channel, and it's been absolutely great. There's not really a lot of misses. Again, well, Ghost of Molly McGee, I can't really consider that a miss, but because a lot of people do like that show, I just haven't really been able to get that much into it. So maybe eventually, but even then, they don't air it that often on Disney Channel anyways. So, you know, but still, like, I think Disney Channel has certainly improved in that regard. So it's been pretty good in my personal opinion, in the sense that that they've kind of improved in their content and just given us some more animated content and yada yada yada. So I think they've done much better. So Disney Channel has certainly gone up on my radar recently, which has been pretty good. So yeah. A Worthless Piece says, if you were in charge of Cartoon Network, what would you do? First of all, I would probably undo a lot of the things that Warner Brothers Discovery has done. I think Warner Brothers Discovery has really, really messed up Cartoon Network in more ways than you can imagine. It's like again, with I'm still not, even though I'm a fan, like, I'm definitely going to be checking out Checkers Past when that eventually premieres in August, late August. I'm still not a fan of Cartoon Network ending at 6 p.m. And, you know, I don't like that they end at 7 p.m. right now, but and them ending at 6 p.m., like, it's whatever. Even though technically I will consider them ending at 7 p.m. because the shows that they're going to air at 6 p.m., Checkered Past, are Cartoon Network shows. So I'm going to just say that Cartoon Network technically still ends at 7 p.m. and not at 6 p.m. But either way, like, it's, I don't know. I find it to be weird, though. But if I was in charge, like, I mean, you know, the thing is, I say this, but I'm not really 100% sure as to why we still haven't really gotten any new shows yet. I mean, we got Summer Camp Island, so that's great. And we're going to have new episodes airing there. And then eventually the new season is going to be airing as well. But like, I still really have, like, no idea why, say, shows like Jade Armor or Valiant Prince Ivandoe or even Total Drama have yet to make it to the channel yet. Again, I think, like, it would be great for them to do it in the summer so we could have more shows and what have you, but it just hasn't happened. I don't know when. I just know that they're coming at some point, but I just don't know when it's gonna happen. Is it gonna happen in the fall? Because we also have Tiny Toons Luniversity happening in the fall. Are we gonna get some more shows around that time when that premieres? Or it's, I don't know. That's the thing. Again, like, I legitimately have no idea. But yeah, I would be at least trying to put those shows on the schedule. You know what I mean? Because we just need more content. You know, Nickelodeon's been providing with more content. Disney Channel more so's been providing with more content. So even the freaking preschool channels like Disney Junior and Nick Jr., they've been providing more new content as well. So, and with Disney Junior doing one next week. So like, so also another thing, 'cause speaking of the preschool stuff, I would definitely try to revitalize Cartoonito, because for one, Cartoonito being only 90 minutes per day is just completely stupid in my personal opinion. And not just that, but like, they took off a lot of shows from Cartoonito, and now it's Cocomelon and Bat Wheels, which is a good show. And then sometimes they air Bugs Bunny Builders, and sometimes they air Mecha Builders as well. So, you know, it's a lot less shows airing there right now. They took off Pocoyo, they took off Bing, they took off Mush Mush and the Mushables, they took off Caillou, which is not a complaint at all. They took off Care Bears, Esme and Roy, and Lucas the Spider, you know? So Cartoonito just, unfortunately, like, it had so much potential when it first started, but they completely just, like, demolished a lot of the potential that Cartoonito had, you know? And the thing is, they're still, like, working on it, obviously. Like, we're still getting shows coming, which is a good thing to hear. It's just, I don't know. It's like, it's become a shell of its former self, and if I were in charge of the entire, like Cartoon Network and part of Cartoonito and stuff, I would be trying to bring back some of the new, I would be trying to bring back some of the shows that they took off of Cartoonito and put it back on the channel. So at the very least, they could have more content airing, but also I would be, you know, giving them back a couple of more hours. Because again, 90 minutes per day is stupid. 7:30 to 9 p.m. is stupid. It makes no sense. And unfortunately, they might have to keep it that way because Cartoon Network is ending at 6 p.m. starting August 28th, you know? And so that would mean like Cartoon Network would, I don't know how they're fully going to do that. You know what I mean? But like, it just makes no sense for Cartoonito to only be on for like 90 minutes. Like, it literally makes no sense. Especially since they are still going to be investing in it like in the near future. So, because again, Barney's World is coming, and Jessica's Little Big World, or Jessica's Big Little World. I always get those two mixed up for whatever reason, but Jessica's Big Little World is also going to be premiering eventually. You know, and I think also Silly Sundays, I talked about Silly Sundays a while ago in a short that I made. That's also, I think, still slated to come as well. So they still have content down the road coming to Cartoonito. It's just, we're not seeing anything right now. But when that does eventually happen, they cannot do 90 minutes on the channel. It makes literally no sense. So either they have to take back the 6 p.m. time slot and go from like maybe 6 to 11 or something, or I don't know. Like, I like legitimately have like no idea when it comes to that, you know? Because again, Cartoon Network now ends at 6 p.m. Here's the thing. If Cartoon Network were to air, like if they were to end at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., then you would be able to have more room to be able to have Cartoonito have like a few more hours. You know, and yeah, I know there's some people that are not really the biggest fan of hearing about that. I get it, you know, because they want Cartoon Network to have a lot of hours, of course, but still, like, I think if they were to end at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. like they used to, and I don't think we're ever going to see that, unfortunately, especially with how how Adult Swim is performing right now, if they were to end at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., then Cartoonito would be able to have a good amount of hours in the morning, you know? But now that Cartoon Network is ending at 6 p.m., what would they be able to do? Could you really give Cartoon Network only 6 hours per day? Not really. Could you, I don't think you would be able to necessarily do that, you know? Because the current schedule right now is that Cartoon Network has 6 o'clock to 7:30 with Amazing with a Gumball, and then they got 9 o'clock to 6, or well, 9 o'clock to 7, but eventually that's going to be 9 o'clock to 6. So 9 to 6, that's about 6. That's about 9 hours. But if you also, well, that's 9 hours. But if you also include the the 6 a.m. time slot that they have, that's an hour and a half. So that would be 10 and a half hours. So, you know, so 10 and a half hours. So like, would you be able to give them like only 7 hours of airtime? I don't know if that would be a good idea, you know? So that's kind of where it's like, well, where does Cartoonito kind of go here? Do they just take the 6 p.m. time slot, and do they end at 10 o'clock, or do they end at 11, or what? Because if they were to end at 11, that would give Cartoon Network about like what, maybe 7 hours of airtime. Would that be enough? I don't know. But then at the same time, Cartoon Network fills up their schedule with constant reruns of Amazing World of Gumball, slight reruns of Craig of the Creek, and some now slight reruns of Teen Titans Go. And so, you know, but then you got Adult Swim that's now going to be taking 6 p.m. They're going to go from 6 to 6 now, which is giving them 12 hours. And technically Cartoon Network is going to have 12 hours, but again, when you count in Cartoonito, they have 10 and a half hours. So again, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I don't know why I keep messing with this for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's the cord to my to my headphones that I have plugged in. But yeah, like, I don't know. I'm still, and Staggervor says a very good point. And the lack of action shows also doesn't help Cartoon Network's relevance. It's not even just that, but like, let's be serious about something as well. It's not even just the fact that Cartoon Network currently only has 3 current shows right now. We Baby Bears, Craig of the Creek, and Teen Titans Go. It isn't even just that, right? Your mom says, happy birthday, bro. Sorry I'm late. No, you're welcome. Welcome to the stream. Oh, crap. We've been gone. We've been streaming for literally 2 hours. Somehow it doesn't feel like it's been 2 hours. That is nuts. But anyway, I don't know if I'm going to end it anytime soon, but it's possible. But we are currently talking about like Cartoon Network right now, so we might be going on for a little bit longer. You know, speaking of, I am gonna continue on with what I was gonna say when it comes to Cartoon Network. Actually, you know what? I'll finish the thought first and then I'll move on. But what I was gonna say was like with Cartoon Network, because again, Staggervor says the lack of action shows doesn't help Cartoon Network's relevance. The thing is, it's not even just with, it's not necessarily just with like the lack of action shows on Cartoon Network. It's more so that when you really think about it, Teen Titans Go, Craig of the Creek, and We Baby Bears, 2 of those shows are good. Teen Titans Go, but so Craig of the Creek is a fairly good show, and We Baby Bears is a pretty good show too. But compare those shows to Haley's On It on Disney Channel. Well, actually, I'll take that one off because that one just premiered. But compare that one to Big City Greens, or say Gravity Falls, or The Owl House, or Amphibia, or Ghost and Molly McGee, or Kith. And these are just Disney Channel shows. Even compare it to like Loud House at Nickelodeon, or SpongeBob at Nickelodeon, which is technically not fair, I guess. But either way, compare Craig of the Creek and We Baby Bears to those shows that I mentioned on Nickelodeon and Disney Channel. Those shows do not reach nearly enough popularity compared to the other shows. Like, really think about that. If you go on Twitter or if you go on YouTube, you are most likely to see people talking about any of the Disney Channel animated shows, right? Or SpongeBob, and I mean, SpongeBob, obviously, it's a cultural phenomenon at this point, and probably the same with Loud House, but you're going to most likely see people talking about those particular shows, and again, the shows that I mentioned on Disney Channel, than you would ever see anybody mention anyone say anything about Craig of the Creek or We Baby Bears. That is literally just a fact. I barely see anybody talking about Craig of the Creek. Craig of the Creek is a fairly good show, but do you see a lot of people talking about it? No. Do you see a lot of people talking about We Baby Bears, another fairly good show? No. Do you see a lot of people talking about Amazing with a Gumball? Yes, you do continue to see people talking a lot about Amazing with a Gumball. Do you see a lot of people talking about Teen Titans Go? Technically, yes, but not in a good light, obviously. I don't really see a lot of fans online of Teen Titans Go, right? So, the shows that Cartoon Network currently has, while they are good shows, again, besides Teen Titans Go, they're not really, like, shows that really make people want to go to Cartoon Network to watch the channel or to watch their shows. They don't really bring in a bunch of people to watch the channel. They're not really as relevant as some of these other shows that are on Disney Channel and on Nickelodeon. Again, Nickelodeon is slightly a different situation, obviously, but with Disney Channel, a lot of people are talking about Kip. A lot of people are talking about Ghost of Molly McGee. A lot of people probably will start talking about Haley's on It, right? Those shows, I think, are just grab more people's interest, and Big City Greens. Those shows just grab more interest than what you see on Cartoon Network. So, if anything, I think what Cartoon Network really, really needs to do is just improve on the kind of shows that they have on their channel. But not just that, they also need to do a lot more marketing. I think that's also kind of clear too, because Nickelodeon does tend to do a lot of marketing. And so does Disney. Now, Disney obviously has the backing of, you know, a bunch of fans, clearly. You know what I mean? Like, because Disney's name is on it, more people are going to flock to Disney Channel regardless. I think part of that is just kind of true. But even then, still, they're pumping out fairly good shows right now, especially when it comes to their animated shows. They're really good. So obviously a lot of more people are going to be talking about those and blah, blah, blah. So Cartoon Network kind of needs to get to that level. I don't know when they will, if they will, or what have you, but they kind of do need to get to that level. They're not at that level right now, but they kind of do need to get there. So, if it were me, I probably would try to improve on the kind of shows that Cartoon Network has. And also, another thing, if I were to be the president of Cartoon Network, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to use the bathroom very quick. But another thing I would do if I was also the president of Cartoon Network is try to, like, make it less a kids channel and kind of do, well, let's put it this way. I would want to take on what, like, say, Michael Owaleen is doing, where it's like just turning it into an animation channel. But the thing is that because obviously he wants to try to move it away from just being a kids channel, because Cartoon Network did slowly over time kind of become known as a kids channel, right? And the thing is, Tom Ashgeim was trying to expand, Staggervorse as the general audience channel. Exactly, that's what I would want to do. And Tom Ashgeim was trying to do that. He was in the works to do that, but then the merger happened and he was fired and blah, blah, blah. You know, so we already know the story of that. But I would kind of want to keep that momentum going, where you do have it be a family channel. And unfortunately, I don't think with the current moves that are happening as of right now, that it's really being turned into a family channel or a general audience channel, in my personal opinion. Because when you move certain things to Adult Swim is not necessarily a general audience programming, you know? Like, even though technically do kids watch Adult Swim sometimes? Yeah, they do. I remember when I was a kid, I would watch Adult Swim sometimes. That's how I got into Family Guy and American Dad when I was young, or Robot Chicken. You know, that was the days back in the day. But even then, still, like, you know, like, it's Adult Swim is for teens and adults for the most part, right? And so when you're kind of moving some of the shows from Cartoon Network to Adult Swim, it's kind of like, yeah, you're kind of keeping it where Cartoon Network is for kids and not really a general audience programming block. You know what I mean? And so I would try to do it differently than how Michael Owaleen is currently doing it. But at the same time, like, the other thing to really mention here is that considering that Adult Swim is doing like a really, really good job right now in terms of viewership, Ryan Stretcher says, happy birthday. I hope you've been having a great day. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But yeah, but, oh Christ, I'm getting hungry too, so I might have to end this kind of sooner. I don't know. But yeah, but considering that, that Adult Swim is doing like really, really well, you know what I mean, in terms of viewership and also kind of providing with new shows and variety and everything, I can't fully exactly blame them for making these moves. It sucks, but again, Cartoon Network's not really doing so well right now. I've said this multiple times. Cartoon Network hasn't really given people that much of a reason to really tune in to the channel, or tune in to the Cartoon Network hours, I should say. So I would try to do as much as I could to like really, really, really improve the channel. If I were to be the president, I would try to do as much as I could. So it'd be like, yes, people are, we bring in more audiences to come to the channel, so we can have more shows on the channel, so we could have, you know, you just wanted to try to be successful. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's your long-winded question, answer to your question. If I were to be in charge of Cartoon Network and yada yada yada. So yeah. Jonathan Bunny 15 says happy birthday, Regularjosh1. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the birthday wish. I will be right back and use the bathroom very quickly, and I probably am gonna end the stream fairly soon afterwards, but I might stay on for another 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere yet.
You are the only one.
Okay, so let's go back here. There we go. Bring up the chat once more. And all right. Okay, so all right. All right, just looking through. All right, yes, I'm practically caught up. All right. Okay, so yeah. I'm going to see. Your mom says, "Oh, that was quick." Yeah, I mean, the bathroom is like literally down the hall. So so I didn't have to like run a mile to go to, you know. But yeah, so let's see. 2 hours and 12 minutes. All right. I should probably do 10 more minutes or so. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if there's anything else you guys would like to talk about, whether it be about Cartoon Network or it be about, hell, Disney parks. You know, we talked about Disney parks for a while, you know, but yeah, you know, if we want to talk about that, sure. Or let me know if there's any movies you guys are interested in checking out. Again, I'm not really that much of a movies guy, but, you know, why not? Let me know if there's any kind of movies, I guess, that you, you know, that you're, interested in checking out or something. I don't know. But yeah. Let's see. Moonbase says, are you going to see Elemental next week or the Flash movie? The Flash movie, again, it's a superhero film. I'm not really all that interested in it, but also Ezra Miller, screw that guy. I don't like Ezra Miller. Okay, so for a lot of reasons, it's not a good guy. Ezra Miller is not a good person. So definitely will not be watching that movie because they're in it. All right, so that's all I'm gonna say when it comes to that. In terms of Elemental, I'm definitely not going to see Elemental next week. I don't know if I'm really ever planning on seeing Elemental. Like, I'm just not necessarily all that interested in seeing that movie. So, yeah, you're probably going to most likely not catch me watching that movie. If anything, I'm really going to, like, read reviews, maybe watch reviews and see how people say, you know, like, say if it's a good movie, if it's bland, if it's predictable, if it's blah, blah, blah. You know, all that stuff. So, we'll see, I guess. But, who knows? But, yeah, I'm not really particularly all that interested in checking out that film. But you said, I'm going to see Elemental next week in theaters. Well, I hope you have fun. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I hope it's a good movie. You never know. I mean, I don't think a lot of people have really been kind of like that interested in it, like the past coming weeks or something. I don't know. Maybe because the Spider-Verse came out and a lot of people are more interested in that film right now. I don't know. But like, yeah, for me, I'm not really all that interested in seeing Elemental. But hey, you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. But either way, you're going to see the movie when it comes out. I hope you have fun. I hope you enjoy it. Dudu says, what Paramount Plus originals do you like that are made by Nickelodeon? Big Nate. I am a fan of Big Nate. I do enjoy that show. It is kind of silly and weird in some ways, but for the episodes that I have seen, I definitely did enjoy that particular show. So that's kind of the only one I got, I think. Continuing. Oh, I completely forgot about this movie. Okay, so Joseph Ramirez, there's the Ruby Gilliman, what is the name of that movie? Is it just Ruby Gilliman, or is it? No, I know it's not just Ruby Gilliman. What the heck is going on outside my house? Like, oh, are they selling? I guess it's kids selling chocolates or something. Do they still do those for schools? I guess they do. I guess kids still have chocolates that they sell to raise money for their school or something. I don't know, but that's happening outside my house right now. But either way, that movie, the Kraken movie, or the Ruby Gilman. Let me see if anybody mentioned that in the chat. Gary the editor, show off your Bluey plush. Why did you have to bring that up? Why did you have to tell people I got a Bluey plush toy? Why? Should have freaking I should have just ignored your comment. God damn it. Dorothy the UI fanatic says, especially when the school season is ending. Yeah, but I think most people well, at least LAUSD, which was the school district that I was that I was a part of when I was going to school. I'm sure their last week of school was this past Friday. So I'm pretty sure, I'm fairly sure that yes, school is already over. But I think there's a couple of school districts around LA at least, or around Southern California, that is still in school. So they're probably out sometime this week. So yeah. Master Reese 10 says, sorry I'm a day late, happy birthday. No, today is my birthday, so you're not a day late, don't worry. But thank you. But yeah, but Rube Gulliman, the Kraken movie with the evil mermaids, evil Ariel, essentially. I'm calling her evil Ariel because that's literally what she is. But yeah, that one looks interesting. I just haven't seen a lot of like promos for it. I mean, I've seen some online, but I haven't seen a lot of promos for it like on TV. So I'm not really sure how that one's gonna do. I hope it does well, and I also hope the movie is good. But again, I legitimately have no idea. So it's a whole thing. So yeah, so that's one you're interested in. TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mutant Mayhem. I'm also interested in that as well. I haven't watched a crap ton of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, but that movie does look fairly good, so I'm very interested in checking that one out. I totally forgot about Trolls 3. I saw the promo for that one like I think a month ago. Did that trailer come out a month ago? I don't really remember, but I saw it and I was like, oh right, there's a third movie. And I completely forgot about it, and then you mentioned it. I'm like, right, there is a third movie that comes out sometime this year. That one might be one I check out. I checked out the first two movies, and I did enjoy it, so maybe I'll check out the third movie. I don't know, depends. And Disney's Wish. Yeah, Disney's Wish, again, is maybe a movie I might check out, but I don't know. I don't know. Again, I'm kind of iffy on it. Like, it looks good, but then there's something about it that's not, like, really drawing me to say, oh, I really got to check out this movie. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but it depends. Where's a piece of Protoplasm says, sorry for repeating myself, but what are your opinions on Boomerang, Toonami, and the new cartoon shorts? I can't say much about cartoon shorts as of right now because we haven't seen anything about it yet. I just know that it seems like we're gonna get some word on cartoon shorts fairly soon. I hope so. But yeah, I can't say too much about it, but I'm excited for it, regardless, because you know it's been in the works for like a couple of years, so I'm excited to see like what we get out of that. Hopefully we can also get some new shows from there. That would be great too. That was the purpose of the original Cartoons program. So hopefully we can get some new shows from this too. That would be freaking awesome. Toonami, I don't watch Toonami, so I can't really say much about Toonami, and I don't have Boomerang either, so also can't really say much about that as well. Squiddy says, do you think they will add more classics to the new Cartoon Network / Adult Swim block in August, like maybe Camp Lazlo or Johnny Bravo? It would be cool if they did. I don't think they've really been airing a lot of Johnny Bravo, like, at all. So we may not ever see Johnny Bravo airing again. I hope that's not the case. It would really suck. But that's kind of what it seems like is happening right now. Camp Lazlo hasn't aired in a long time too, which is kind of surprising. Kind of missed that show, but yeah, like, it's possible. You never know. I'm sure it's not just going to be Dexter's Lab, Billy and Mandy, Ed, Ed and Eddie, and Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm sure they're going to rotate some new shows every now and then. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Let's see. Yoshi Master Leader says, have you seen the stop motion stuff from last year, like Pinocchio, Window and Wild, and the House? Oni, as much as I don't know. No, I haven't seen any of those movies. Again, not much of a movie guy in general. So yeah. Huh. Yeah, I'll read this one first, and then I'll get to that one. Your mom says, what are your thoughts on Dora the Explorer now that you look back at it? You know, it's kind of interesting because when I had Nick Jr., and I currently don't have Nick Jr. right now because of a whole weird situation with my like cable box and whatnot. I'm gonna try to get that fixed, but when I had it, I started, and when they started like airing Dora the Explorer again, like I kind of started just out of curiosity checking out the show again, and I checked out like one of the older episodes, like one of the episodes from the first few seasons, and then compared it to one of the episodes from like the later seasons and whatnot. And the older seasons were definitely more palatable to watch. It kind of had like a little bit more charm to them as well. But when it came to the newer seasons, I was kind of like, everything is just so unnerving and creepy. And like, you want to know why I think Dora the Explorer kind of definitely looked a little bit more creepy in the later episodes, in the later seasons? Because it's something that I never really fully realized until now. Dora the Explorer has no eyebrows. Has anyone ever noticed that before? Or am I just the only person that just noticed that Dora the Explorer never had eyebrows in the original series? Think about that. They're giving her eyebrows in the new series that's coming out next year, but in terms of the freaking show, the original show, she never had eyebrows. And when I think about that and notice that she's never had eyebrows, she looked freaking weird without eyebrows. Am I the only one that noticed that? So it's like, yeah, but also for whatever reason, they just like had this weird blank death stare, I'm gonna call it, every time they talk to you, or they talk to each other, but they're always like, hey, Dora, look at what I have here. And it's creepy. So it's creepy. Christ. But yeah, like Dora is, oh, damn it. I meant to read one of the other, comments from Moon-based, but yeah, like, but yeah, like, like legit, let's just say that when it comes to the Dora series now, like, do I have the hatred that I used to when I was, when I made that video almost 10 years ago? No. Like, I don't have that hatred for Dora the Explorer anymore, but oh man, but the show's still weird. It's still kind of creepy, and I'm curious to know what the new version of Dora the Explorer is going to be like. I hope it's improved upon, I guess, but like, I have no idea. It's going to be interesting, I guess, but just got to wait and see when the time comes. Moonbase says, my partners, I'm Polymoris. Interesting. And I kind of got interested, so I got tickets for all three of us, and we weren't huge fans of superhero movies, so why not Elemental? So are you saying that you're that you got interested in Elemental, or was it another movie that you were mentioning? Oh yeah, you're talking about Elemental. Okay, yeah. Also, I've never met anybody that was Polymoris, so that's interesting. How does that even work? like I'm like, how does that work? You know, you're in a relationship, like, you're a guy or a woman, and you have another boyfriend, or you got another girlfriend, or I'm just wondering how that works. I don't know. I'm not trying to say this as like, ew, it's weird, it's gross or anything. Like, it's just different, you know what I mean? But I'm just kind of curious how that works, you know what I mean? I'm not necessarily asking you to explain, because I'm sure you're probably not fully comfortable and be like, hey, so this is how my relationship is, and I wouldn't want you to do that if you're not, I'm not asking you for to do that, but but again, I'm just kind of like slightly curious as to like how that even works. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, Elemental. Oh damn, the doves are back. Another thing also about my house or about my neighborhood is that we tend to get doves around the house. And so sometimes they make nests around my backyard or sometimes in the front door. So, or over the front door, I should say. So like, yeah, that happens sometimes. I live in an interesting neighborhood. It's a gated community. It's fairly peaceful here. So it's pretty cool. Got Ryan Treasure says, are you happy that Phineas and Ferb is coming back? I am, but I'm also, I'll be honest, I am slightly nervous, because I'm just hoping, I mean, yeah, I probably shouldn't, but, if anything, when it comes to Phineas and Ferb returning, I'm hoping that the show is just as good as how it used to be. I mean, the movie, when it came out, like, it still had that Phineas and Ferb charm, and I thought it was still pretty good at the time, too. I'm just hoping it's the same for the newer Phineas and Ferb revival series as well. And also the person, I think her name is Olivia, the person who plays, who voice acts Vanessa in the series, she's also gonna be writing in this show this time as well, while also reprising her role in the new show too. So that's gonna be very interesting when it comes to that. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to it. Slightly nervous, but I'm looking forward to it. Moonbase says, don't worry, I also forgot about Trolls 3 as well. I honestly wouldn't mind checking out Trolls 3 movie since I enjoyed the first two movies. Huh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I might check it out. Will I go to the movies for it? Again, I don't know, but it really depends. Cuppy says, hey Josh, what do you think about the new Little Mermaid? I'm not checking it out because it's a live-action Disney remake, and I hate Disney live-action remakes because they are nothing but a cash grab. Like, nothing but a clear cash grab. They only do it because they know how much it's gonna make them. And so it doesn't sit well with me, so I refuse to watch these damn things. So that's why I will never, ever, ever, ever check those out. So there you go. Squiddy says, yeah, I saw that. I used to stay up all night to see it. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but I apologize for that. Were you talking about like Adult Swim, or were you talking about some of the other shows or whatever? I don't know, but okay. Let's see here. Still trying to kind of get caught up. I'm gonna actually end the stream fairly soon, so I might take a couple of more questions, or maybe a few more questions and whatnot. Excuse me, but yeah, because we've been streaming for 2.5 hours, which I was not expecting to be streaming for 2.5 hours at all. So but yeah, I might, because I am getting hungry, and I may want to try to go somewhere to eat for dinner. Because I don't want to just necessarily be in the house all day. It's my birthday after all, you know what I mean? So I might want to possibly go out somewhere for dinner today. I don't know. It really depends. I don't know. But yeah, let me try to get a couple of questions. Moonbase says, if you want to know anything, I don't mind explaining. I mean, sure. I mean, I guess if you want to explain how it works, you can go ahead and do that in the chat. If it's totally fine with you, then yeah, go, by all means, go ahead. Again, you know, like, I wasn't sure if I would ask, or if I should ask, because it's like, that's kind of a personal thing, and, you know, what have you. So, Yeah, but yeah, if you're fine with explaining a little bit about it, then yeah, by all means, go ahead. Your mom says, what show do you think has the laziest animation in your opinion? You know what? I can't necessarily think of any recent shows or like any shows that's currently on right now that has the laziest animation. Not that I can really think of, but if I had to say a show that had probably one of the laziest animations, or at least a show that had horrible animation, in my personal opinion, I think it was My Adventures with Kid Danger, the Henry Danger animated spin-off series. That show was effing terrible, okay? Like, I hated all the characters in that show. The animation was bad. It was, oh, crap. It was the worst. It was one of the worst animated shows I've ever seen. It was terrible, okay? Like, God. It was a very bad show. So, I would probably have to give it to that one and saying that was one of the worst animated shows I've seen. Yeah, it's it's really freaking bad. Copy, what's the worst show of 2022? I don't know. I can't really give an answer to that one. I'm not really sure. So honestly, I don't know. That's a good question though, but again, I'm not really sure. Ryan's Treasure says, you're not alone. I hate Disney live action remakes too. I can't blame anyone else who does. Again, they're all bad. I mean, yeah, I haven't seen any, but from what I've heard from, like, a lot of people who tend to review them and whatnot, like, they tend to always add, like, worse plot lines to the story, or the movies are usually just way worse than the classics. It sucks that the classics get underperformed by these movies. Like, these movies almost always, and granted, yes, that's because of inflation, but it does still suck that, like, all of these live-action remakes tend to end up making way more money at the box office than the classics. Except for Mulan. I think Mulan was definitely a total flop. But either way, like, it sucks that it happens, you know? And, yeah. But yeah, Disney live-action remakes, they suck, and I refuse to watch any of them whatsoever. Unless it was bootlegged or something. But even that, I probably still wouldn't. Even, and the weirdest part is one of them, like, one of the executives are like, hey, you know, we have the possibility of turning the Lion King, the live action Lion King, into a franchise like Star Wars and Marvel. And I'm like, why the hell would you want to do that? If we were talking about the original Lion King, maybe, but the live action version, it's still freaking animated. It's not a live action movie, but because it's animated in the way that it's giving off a live action vibe, it's a live action remake. But but like, why would you want to turn that universe into a freaking franchise that would be similar to Star Wars? What, are we gonna give that live action version like a bunch of movies based off of characters or something? Why would anybody want to watch that? Would we really want to watch a series or a movie or a multiple movie with emotionless animals? Unless it was freaking Airbuds or something, and actually, no, never mind on that. But still, like, why would anybody want to see that? I don't do it. Disney, whatever you do, don't freaking do it, okay? Just don't. Nobody wants that. Anyway, continuing. Guppy says, Velma is a 10 out of 10. Just kidding. Christ. 10 out of 10. If anybody were to legitimately give it a 10 out of 10, I would be like, you are clearly smoking something. Because Velma is nowhere near a 10 out of 10. Oh, man. Joseph says, the only Disney live-action movies I liked were 101 Dalmatians. Yeah, those were at least kind of fun, and those are kind of at a different league compared to the Disney live-action remakes that we have now. Peach Dragon... Yeah, Peach Dragon, I haven't heard too many bad things about that one. Christopher Robin and Cruella, that's it. But other Disney live-action remakes are terrible. Yeah, those are kind of someone in a different league, so I can 100% understand that one. Yeah, so yeah. Okay, so Moonbase kind of explains a little bit, so I'll read that. It says, well, I just date 2 people and they date each other. So basically it's 3 people or more, but for my case, it's just 3 of us dating each other. That's basically it in a nutshell. So while you're dating those 2 people, they're also dating each other. That's very interesting. So in a way, it is literally a love triangle. It's literally a love triangle. Instead of it being, oh, it's one character and you got 2 guys that are fighting for you, it's like, no, she's mine. No, she's mine. Like freaking Twilight. But it's not like that. You're actually dating these 2 guys and they're dating each other, or I don't know what gender they are or whatever. It is what it is, you know, or that. But but it's legitimately it's a legitimate love triangle. So I guess that's a good way of explaining it. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I don't know if I could see myself in that scenario. To be honest, I can't really see myself in a relationship. I don't think I would be capable of being in a relationship. I don't know. I just don't see myself being in like an intimate setting with anyone. You know what I mean? And maybe it's because I don't hang out with a lot of people, so I don't see. I don't know, but you know. But yeah. Either way, it's definitely interesting. But yeah. But hey, you know what? At least that kind of relationship works for you. Like, you know. Again, it's very interesting. It's kind of a yeah. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try. There was one question here. Ryan Scherzer says, "What is your favorite streaming service?" That one probably is gonna have to go to Disney Plus, only because that's the most that I watch out of all the other ones. You know, like there's just like a certain series that I kind of tend to watch, like say usually Phineas and Ferb, you know, but there's not like a lot of series that's new that I really check out on Disney Plus. So, you know, honestly, that's a tough one. You know what, I'm gonna say I don't necessarily have a favorite streaming service. You know, I think I'm just gonna say that, you know, because again, I don't necessarily watch a lot of streaming services. Like I got Hulu, I barely watch that, but I got Hulu, I got Paramount Plus, I got Netflix, I got Disney Plus, and I got Paramount Plus. So I got 5 of those. And I might have Paramount. I mean, not Paramount. I might have Amazon Video. I don't know. I mean, I got Amazon Prime, but that's more than just a streaming service. So yeah, but either way, like I don't really watch a lot of those, and so I can't necessarily say, oh, and I got Max as well. I got Max. It's funny how the one that I definitely forget is Max. If it was HBO Max, I probably would not have forgotten about it, but it's Max. You see how dull that name is? Hey, let's watch Max. The one to watch. Christ. But again, I should be trying to end this soon. I don't want to go for 3 hours. I might try to eat something very soon. But yeah, I'm gonna say I don't really have a favorite streaming service. I barely watch any of them, and when I do, it's mainly because there's a show that I want to check out, and you know, whether it's on TV or not. And it's usually kind of like, again, it's usually Phineas and Ferb, maybe some SpongeBob episodes. You know, sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes I may even check out like old Blue's Clues episodes. I haven't done that in a while, but sometimes I do, because it's like Steve Burns, you know? Steve Burns was a freaking awesome host of Blue's Clues. And, you know, sometimes I just want to check that out for nostalgia purposes. So, yeah, but other than that, like, I don't really tend to watch a lot of streaming services. Even for like any particular series, you know? So, or for any particular like new shows that come out. So I can't really say I have much of a favorite. Oh, I also forgot about Hamster and Gretel. Dude says, what are your opinions on Hamster and Gretel? The show's okay. You know, like it's not great in my personal opinion, like, or at the very least, I just haven't really gotten all that much into it. I've watched a couple of episodes, but it's okay. You know, it's no Phineas and Ferb. Like, I'll just hit that right off the bat. It's no Phineas and Ferb. But yeah, the show's all right. You know, it's not the greatest, not the worst, but it's okay. Moonbase says, yeah, you can say it's a love triangle. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it is. So, yeah, man. My voice just goes high for whatever reason. Like, it's weird. But it is what it is. A Moonbase says, yeah, they are both dudes, so you aren't far. I don't know how I guessed that. Honest to God, I don't even know how I guessed that. But yeah, I guess they're both dudes. Are you by any chance? I mean, I know you said like gotta hop off, do some chores, have a good and safe day. Thanks for joining, Moonbase. It was great having you. Hope to see you in maybe another one of my videos or another stream that I happen to do, possibly. Yeah, thank you so much for joining the stream. So yeah, it was very fun having you in there. I think that is probably Yoshi. Master Leader says Max sounds like a fake brand in a movie. It does. It really does. So freaking dull. I think that is about it. Yeah, so Gary the editor is also leaving. I'm gonna be leaving as well, guys. I'm gonna be ending the stream. Last one, Joseph says, hey, you want to watch Max? Oh, you mean the character from a Goofy movie? No, the streaming service. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, God, it's so freaking stupid. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for joining this birthday stream. You know, kind of just hanging out, because I wanted to hang out with you guys on my birthday. Which was pretty dope. So yeah, wow, 23 viewers and 42 likes. Whew, amazing. And we've been streaming for 2 hours and almost 45 minutes. I never thought I would be close to 3 hours on these streams, but here we are. That's crazy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining the stream. It's been a blast having you guys in the stream. And also, of course, thank you guys for being subscribed. Thank you for being fans of the channel. Love every single one of you, and I hope that you guys stick around. We got some more videos, of course, that are going to be coming. More topics about Cartoon Network and yada, yada, yada. I don't have anything planned, but a lot of things are not planned sometimes. So, you never know. But yeah, so again, thank you guys so much for joining in. Thanks for being subscribed. Thanks for all that. And hopefully we will have a video coming out sometime next week. Can't make any promises, but hopefully we do. But yes, until next time, I will see you guys later. Thank you. Oh yeah, also thank you guys so much for the happy birthday wishes as well. That really means a lot, especially for somebody that's turning 27 years old and it's hitting me right now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for absolutely everything. It means a lot. You guys are absolutely incredible. And hopefully I can do another stream, probably not too soon, but yeah, it's always fun to do these streams with you guys. So who knows? Maybe one day I'll do a stream where instead of doing a video, I'll just do a stream and I'll talk about it with you guys or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time in another video and possibly another stream later on down the line. Thank you guys so much for joining. And also remember, you are hearing it from a regular world. Hope you guys all have a good day. Peace out. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care, everybody. Oh, and also if you graduated, congratulations. And if you're still in school, I know I'm trying to end this. If you're still in school, I hope you guys enjoy your summer vacation. Let's have one heck of a summer vacation this year. All right, so again, take care. Peace.